if honestly, I think you're 53 years old. Let's do that like it. Andy Hunter,
if you would not make such a fuss of it, I wouldn't do it anymore. What you do?
People have got things to do. Look,
nothing you have to do. You have absolutely
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matt McCann, misery ass. Happy birthday to you. There you go.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Happy Christmas to you both.
Agree once.
Jurgen's right about you newspaper writers. Yes, go on, Andy Hunter. Let's rock it through these questions, please.
Yes, sorry. Jurgen, it was just something you said in the open section about being top of Christmas, where you said, we know how tough it will be from here on in. And over the last 2 seasons, you've experienced both sides of it. How much reassurance or confidence does that give you, or an advantage over other teams challenging for the title, that you've been here, you know what's to come, especially in what is a slog of a season?
Honestly, we don't think about challenging the title in the moment. Honestly, not at all. It's really, and I know it's kind of boring, but it's the truth, because we don't understand it in a different way. We just try to make sure we are as competitive as possible in the next game. So you win a game, which is great, the best feeling you can get. And then a few days later, usually couple of days later, you play again. So this time we didn't have that, that's true. And the first time, and now we try to use that to prepare for the next few games, probably not for the rest of the season, but for the next few games. And I don't know anything about advantage or disadvantage in this situation and these kind of things. If you are completely, let me say, a complete surprise, and then you are in April at the top of the league, then I think everybody would say, okay, with a little bit more experience now, you could do it until the end. So we are not, but it's then, even then it's the end of April or March. So we are not that far now. And if we are in March or April still in this position, we can maybe talk differently. But if we are then only 2-3 points ahead, then makes no sense anyway. So there's not the only advantage you can get is the advantage on the pitch in the specific game, and nothing else. Being successful in the past can have different kind of influence. You had enough, you want more, these kind of things. My boys for sure didn't have enough yet, and want for sure more, but that doesn't make it more likely. It just means, we created so far a basis, and we have to create much more of it to use it in the end. And so far, nothing really happened in this league.
Fantastic. Okay, Chris Bascom, Paul Joyce, Dave Mallock, Dom King. I'm going to try and rattle through this before we go to the Sundays. Chris.
Hi again. One of the more positive remarks Mo made was that he said he wants to break every record, goal scoring record at Liverpool. I mean, as a manager, you would have loved to hear that.
Oh, absolutely. But I didn't. You didn't have to tell me that I know that. I know that for a while already. Yeah. Mo's motivation level is really, really, really high. He keeps himself in a sensational shape, works incredibly hard around the sessions. First in, last out, these kind of stuff. There's nothing you can blame him for, to be honest. And so, yeah, he knows exactly what he needs for that, that he has a chance to break the records, that are his teammates giving him the ball in the right moment, helping him, bring him in the position and stuff like this. So there's no doubt about that. So it's all fine. These kind of interviews, which I heard now about, they are really, you make a lot of it, to be honest. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But on a daily basis, we don't feel it.
Okay, Paul, and then Dave Maddock, and then Dom. Paul.
Can it be challenging to manage a player like Mo?
It is challenging to manage players in general. So because they're all human beings, and you are all different. So my boys are different as well. So it's challenging I would say in a good way. That's my job actually. But the thing with footballers is they need to be extremely confident. Then they can play their best football. So, and being extremely confident, yeah, that makes you a special person, and not always the most easy to deal with, not every day. And that's the job then to deal with. And so far it was no problem. I can't see any problem in the future.
Fantastic. Okay, Dave Maddock and then Dom to finish.
Jurgen, sorry, just on that, is how do you deal with it? So, for instance, Mo spoke to a Spanish newspaper, and he said he was upset, or he was not upset, but he thought he might have been captain. But obviously, you gave it to a local boy for very good reasons. Would you explain that to him? Is it, as a manager, do you use the psychology?
That's a good example. So I was captain for a long time during my career. So and I always thought, what the heck of a job it is, because it's not a lot of benefits you get. It's just a lot of work you have with all the things around. So I didn't feel, or I don't feel really the importance of being captain. Yes, of being captain, we need one like Hendo, that's clear. But being captain for a game, I didn't realize how important that can be to players, because in this world nowadays we make a big fuss of everything, and I didn't realize it's that much a story for Trent or stuff like this. The rule here is we have a players committee, and this players committee is John Henderson, James Milner, Virgil van Dijk, and Gini Wijnaldum. These are pretty much the four captains. You don't need four captains, but Hendo wears the captain's armband when he's not playing, then Millie. If he's not playing, both not playing, then Virgil. If all three are not playing, then Gini. So if they all cannot play, then it's usually the guy who is longest in the club, the player who is longest in the club. So, and that was, in my understanding, how I saw it, that was Trent. So he got it because he's longest in the club. And now I don't mean the youth career, so the professional career. Somebody told me after it would have been Divock Origi, that was then my fault, actually, if it's the case. But Div was on loan and stuff. So I didn't make it that complicated. I just decided Trent is longest in the club, so he has the armband. So yes, and I spoke, of course, to Mo afterwards about it, not before, but afterwards, when I realized it's not, it didn't work out that well. So, and we clarified that, and then he said it obviously in the interview again. So that's not a problem for me. So yes, he was disappointed, and I didn't do it on purpose. I just did what I did, and if I made a mistake, then it was that not Divock Origi was the captain that day.
Okay, just before we go to Dom to finish this particular part of the section, just a reminder to everybody that the embargo for what's been said since we went into this section is 10:30 p.m. Christmas Day, not tonight. 10:30 p.m. Christmas Day, the 25th. It's your responsibility if you're sending stuff on that they understand that the stuff isn't for the 10:30 p.m. tonight. Very important. Final question, Dom, and then we'll go to our Sunday guys. If they want to put their hands up, we'll get to as many as we can. Yes, Dom.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how do you obviously when the players have won everything that they have with you, and they are linked to big clubs like Madrid, like Barcelona, how do you keep it fresh for them? How do you keep everything fresh so they don't want to look elsewhere? Because again, that's a big challenge for you to keep it going all the time, that freshness.
I don't know.
You obviously created.
It's like this. We all want it, and if you want, then we all could look for something else if we want. But actually, I think the only reason to leave Liverpool in the moment is then really the weather. So, and even that is good. Yeah. What other reason could be there? This is one of the biggest clubs in the world. We pay good money. Maybe not the most in the world, but we pay good, and we have a sensational stadium with outstanding supporters. We have a fan base all over the world. So our colors are red, which is the nicest color anyway. So where's the reason? But you cannot force people to stay. But that's it. We never did, by the way. It's all about timing, the right moment, stuff like this. We make changes and bring players in. If a player wants to go, then we cannot probably not hold him back. It's just about, wouldn't understand why somebody would want to go. Yeah. And when Mo answered the question, it was that these clubs might be interested, and he didn't rule out that imagine you would, okay, I'm different, because if you ask me, then it's a lot about that these things about your contract and stuff like this. But if you ask any player in the world who's not playing for Barcelona and Real Madrid, And then you ask him, can you imagine to play the police one day? And he would say, no, not for them, really Spanish and the big ones. And why should he say that? The only thing he said, we will see. We will see. And about Liverpool, it's in the club's hands and stuff like this. That's, yeah, maybe true, maybe not true. It's about, it's not true, it's true 100%, but it's about talks and talking about the future and these kind of things. So it's really all fine. You obviously have not a lot to talk about. And that's why we make of one interview a really long story, which is completely fine, but that doesn't make it more important to me in the moment. Mo is a very important player for me, obviously, but the story around isn't.
Okay, so just to clarify, everything that's just been said there,